I call the member for Rockdale.
Mr. Speaker. I rise today to bring to the attention of the House the state of paralysis and chaos that we are only just starting to feel in councils across New South Wales. Overnight, hundreds of elected councillors have been told that their democratic mandate is meaningless, that they are to be made redundant in favour of a random government appointee. No other boss in Sydney would be allowed to sack people like this. Everybody else across our state is rightfully expected to give warnings, to give notice, to treat those under them with decency. Mr. Speaker, I do not believe in opposing changes where appropriate, and I believe the New South Wales local government was in need of reform. However, the haphazard way in which this government has left such large and significant regions of our state without local elected leadership for such a long period of time is simply reckless. It's in paralysis, mate. In my electorate, there's paralysis around Rockdale and in St George at the moment. In my electorate, I'm already receiving reports of decisions which were previously well advanced, which have been working their way through the bureaucracies of councils, which have been sent back to square one following amalgamation announcements. Sporting fields which were on the point of having synthetic pitches installed, community amenities and facilities on program for renewal, commercial and residential building and development applications ready for commencement have been thrown into limbo as a result of this careless regime change. Holding no elections until 2017 means that this dysfunction is set to continue for more than a year in amalgamated councils, with nothing likely to start operating properly for several months now, and then yet more delays when councillors are eventually re-elected for these new LGAs to start working again. Mr. Speaker, Premier Baird is dreaming if he believes that government structures can instantly re-establish themselves following such drastic upheaval. The House would do well to remember... Mr. Speaker, are they there in a conversation or am I... Sorry. The House would do well to remember that it took 16 years for the Liberal... 16 years for the Liberal Nationals to become functional again as the last time of this government. You cannot simply reappoint a collection of retirees, former bureaucrats, MPs and the like to replace groups of councillors who held contemporary mandates.
Member for Oakley's on a call.
People who live and breathe their communities and expect to get any sort of decent result. Many of the Baird Grant Government Special Purpose Administrators have already stated that they will simply be following officers' recommendations in all regards. It's confusing the role of the public service to expect them to set vision when we know that their role is, by law, to follow process.
Keep your hands off Georges River Council.
Council officers, you've got your hands well on that. Council officers will be able to deal with the trivialities that elected representatives can so easily dispense with. People will be forced into the Land and Environment Court
Sussex
to
Street
deal
wants
with
Georges River
even misplaced tree
Member on three
or
calls.
slightly off angle. He's very loud though, Speaker. Speaker, the tail will be wagging the dog and it will simply continue to drive up the already enormous burden of red tape inherited in our planning processes. The Baird Grant government has said time and time again that they wish to drive investment and growth in Sydney and that we need to make housing more affordable. But the impacts of these poorly planned amalgamations will do the exact opposite. With the removal of elected oversight, the in-trays of local planning departments will be overflowing with unprocessed applications, DAs will be gathering dust, and every day the costs that eventually contribute to the price of housing will climb ever upwards. Already it is far too often that project managers will wait 30 days after their submission only to receive a letter back that they need to supply more information, a letter that likely could have been sent on day one. No, this is true. This is what's happening. You've got to listen. Mr. Speaker, now they don't even have the small comfort of certainty, and the effect of this will be to see the hundreds of millions of dollars in investment the Baird Grant government is relied upon to prop up its budget disappearing to the never-never. Back when the Premier had some accountability as an investment banker, I'm sure he knew that the risky investments demanded high return. And as Mike Baird, I run it myself, drives risk up across our state, he will inevitably drive prices up and investment down. Speaker, we want affordable housing, we need to make it affordable to build housing. If we want to reform local government, we need to make local democracy functional.
Order. Members'
Speaker,
time has
at the recent
expired.
event, they held me up. I'd like to
Members'
finish on-
time has expired.
Yeah, it's not.
Order. Members' time has expired.
I've got one paragraph.
Quick.
Yeah. At the recent event of the mayor of Rockdale, together with fellow councillors, confronted the Premier and stated, Premier, we embrace reform, and we got sacked. Mr. Speaker, quite a reasonable question. We received no reasonable explanation.